Hello and welcome to Game Time, our first ever podcast. My name is Marco Ndlovu, and we'll be talking anything, everything and nothing on this platform. It is something that we are starting. It's very new, it's brand new. We hope you out there will like it. It is our first episode, and like I said, my name is Marco Ndlovu. I'll be joined on the first ever Game Time podcast by a man who is a gamer. And before I tell you his name, I'll just give you a little bit of background about him. He's a former Civics player. He's a former Santos title winning player. He is a former Avondale player. He was a trialist at Manchester City. Yeah, he was a trialist at Manchester City. And also he's a former Black Africa coach, as well as a former Brave Warriors coach, the COSAFA Cup 2015 title winning coach, AFCON twice, once as a player and once as a coach. Should I go on, Ricardo?
Sure. No. I think stop right there. It's way too long. What an intro.
Yeah. You have so much, to share. You have so much that you have achieved. You have so much that you want to achieve. Let's take it back, man. Who's Ricardo?
Sure. Ricardo is just a normal boy from Commersdal, where I grew up, that fell in love with football. I always tell people this, that I was actually first an athlete. 100 meters, 200 meters. Sure. Wanted to be Frankie. And then football came.
So who was faster between you and Frankie?
Frank was he was just faster than me, man.
Yeah.
I looked up to him and still looking up to him. But that passion for football just came in and spoiled my athletic career.
So how was it growing up in Commersdal? It's a sort of a close community, yeah. And those years it was very close knit, and also they loved football.
So the area where I grew up is what we call Bethlehem. It's, for those that don't know, it's the area where Commersdal Spa is. So that immediate area. Now I was actually, my first 5 years, there's a place we call, just next to the cemetery, Spokesdorp. Now it's a very interesting place. Now I need to tell you this. In that one street, we had Franklin April, that was a national player. He just lived opposite us. Next door, my neighbor was Denzel Bruver, goalkeeper, national team goalkeeper. On the other side is Jerry Zimmer, the current coach of Civics, also a Civics club legend, and was part of James Brits, that also lived opposite me, the first coach that took the under-20 to AFCON. So you can see, and then we have John Clute just down the road, also played for Civics. It was just football all over. And then when we moved to Bethlehem, got to Bethlehem, and there was a club called Arsenal, played in the first division, and Civics was in the Premier League. So this interesting story happened in that small neighborhood, or whatever I can call it. You had two teams, one in the first division and one in the Premier League, and most of the players lived there. So that's how we were blessed. And Brian Isaacs lived there. There was Mike Peterson just down the road. He played for Black Africa, club legend at Black Africa. And all of the others, all the other young boys, it was either your Arsenal or your Civics. So then Civics got into trouble, relegation. They were fighting relegation, and came to Arsenal and said, "Hey man, we are brothers, guys. Please come and help us." And that's how we joined Civics.
How old were you then?
Yeah, I was, I think, something like 15. I was 15, 16.
So you were saving teams from relegation at 15?
At 15 years old.
Wow.
And we managed, and the love for Civics has always been there.
Okay, how long did you stay at Civics, and how was the journey at Civics?
So the journey at Civics, was sort of, there were experienced players and I was a youngster, and they literally raised me and say how I should play, what I shouldn't do, etc., etc. So it was more of me learning from the senior players in that period. We were not a league, wanting to win the league. We didn't have the capacity at that time, but we won a cup, and we had a lot of top youngsters. I remember my boss Ortman, that also played in the Premier League at that time. We had the current PR person at City of Windhoek, Harold Akwenye, Bole Hans, there were a lot of youngsters, and we kept the energy going together with the senior players.
And fast forward now, you're at Civics. How long did you stay, and how did the move to South Africa come about?
So I stayed about, I think, 5-6 years at Civics. And then when Brian Isaacs left, I sort of became what they call the poster boy of Civics. I became one of the main guys. And Brian obviously went to Black Africa, and I always looked up to him in terms of his ability as a footballer, and also off the field, the whole discipline thing that he came with. But then obviously the national team came, and at age 17 I played for the Brave Warriors. And it was this thing that the people said, wow, there's a wonder kid here, 17 years old, playing for the first team. There must be something awesome about him. So scouts from South Africa came. I remember Gordon Egerson with Manning Rangers and Afzal Khan. I remember Screamer Chabalala. At that time, I think he was representing Pirates, if I was not mistaken. Chief Scouts came, because that was now the height of, or the intro, when we started beating Bafana. Yeah. People started looking and say, wow, there's something happening in Namibia. And all those scouts came. And those guys actually didn't come for me.
So you hijacked somebody's deal.
I hijacked. I think they came from Mohammed Oseb at that time. Everyone was like, because Mohammed is such a wow. Still today, my favorite local player. Everyone was like, yo, we need to get Mohammed. And I think all the clubs came, and then some of the clubs saw me, and Manning Rangers and Santos saw me, and I had to choose between Santos and Manning Rangers. So Manning Rangers was from Durban. I've never been to Durban. I've always been a Cape Town boy. I love the city so much, and I decided, based on the city, I'm going to Cape Town.
It wasn't about the money.
It wasn't about the money. It was about Cape Town. So I wanted to be, to get onto the Table Mountain, the whole beach thing, that whole Cape Town culture. It was just like, for me, I think Cape Town is my place.
And you're 20 years old.
And I'm 20 years old.
Not married.
Not married at that time. I was like, I'm going to Cape Town.
All right, so you get to Cape Town. Santos signed you. Who was the coach then?
So Duncan Krawi, he was a player coach. And Duncan Krawi is, I think, the best player that, before Benny. He was like a god in Cape Town. He could play any position. He's so highly rated in Cape Town. Could play centre back, he could play midfield, he could play as a striker. And he was the coach of Santos. But remember, Santos at that time was transitioning from amateur to professional. And he came and he saw me, and he's actually the guy that said, no, we need to get that gentleman. So he was our first coach. But it was a rocky season, that first one. We were fighting relegation again.
So they had to come for you to save them.
Yes, like service game, yeah.
So how was the salary like those days? I mean, we know that nowadays the first thing that players consider is the money. During your days, you guys used to play for passion. So, how was the salary like?
So let's talk a little bit about salary. And I think a lot of times people are embarrassed, or I don't know, to say how much they earned. That was not what the guys are earning right now. Sure, Peter Shalulile, them, Dion Hoto, them, Nyamba, them. What they're earning right now,
crazy numbers.
It's crazy. Their tax is 10 times my salary. Okay, but the first time, so I had a job. I was working at MTC at the time when they came. They came for me, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to double my salary, because I had no clue about how much I was supposed to be earning.
You didn't have an agent?
I didn't have an agent. I did not have a friend in football that side that could assist me. I called Mark Gleason, you remember Mark?
The tall guy, yeah.
Tall guy. And Mark said, yeah, Ricardo, Santos is a small club. But I think, if you can get a 5,000, if you can go home with a 5,000, and remember it's 1997.
Yeah.
Right, 1997, and at MTC I think I was earning something like 3,000. So I was like, 5,000 sounds good. Okay, if I can, they can pay my accommodation. Obviously at that time I already had a car, just to make sure that I got fuel in there. I'm gonna enjoy Cape Town. So, and then I said, okay, 5,000, nah. And then I said, nah, let me test the waters. And I asked them for 7. I said, give me 7,000 after tax. And when I got to Santos, I realized that because they came from an amateur setup, I was the highest paid player there.
At 7,000.
At 7,000, yeah.
Yeah, but that was a lot of money. I mean,
one of the highest paid players. So after tax, I would take 7,000 in 1997. So that was, coming from 3,000. I was like thinking, yeah, I don't know how much people are earning, so let me take this. I can send money home to my parents, and the rest I can look after myself. They're going to give me a flat, etc. And the first year, first 6 months, I stayed with the club boss, the chairman.
Who was the chairman there?
Ghulam Ali.
Ghulam Ali, yes.
He took me in and I stayed with him, and from there I would go to training and they would show me around and stuff, and yeah.
All right, so you're earning 7,000. How did you invest that money? Because we know that sometimes these players, we have seen even in Namibia where we have had players earning so much money, but at the end of their careers they have nothing to show for it.
Let me be straight with you and everyone.
Yeah, we said everything is on the table.
Everyone watching this, there's and maybe I'll take a long route to answer your question, but if I get lost, please remind me.
Yeah.
So there's the social pressure on professional players. There's family pressure, there's social pressure, there's your just the whole expectation that you are professional and you should be earning a certain amount of money. There's currently a lot of players that are not earning a lot of money, but socially they are big stars. When they get home or sit in or go to the shop or there's a party, people expect them to pay because you're professional, right? So there's not big money for everyone. The big money is for less than 5% of the players that are professional right now. The 95% of the others are really earning your average normal salaries, right? And with that, so let me paint this picture for you a minute. You live in Cape Town, right?
Obviously, it's a metropolitan city.
It's a metropolitan. It's big lights of the city. You shocked. The social life. It's your friends driving cars. You want to buy a car. You can't get in the bus with development players. People laugh at you when you get to Cape Town. The bus is picking you up. You are sitting with small boys in the bus, driving for 2 hours, picking up players in Mitchell's Plain, picking up players in Hanover Park, picking up players in Rondebosch, and then go to training. And then you come there with the academy players, and all the professionals come with the BMWs, the
Audis,
the GTIs, etc. And here you come. It takes a very strong player, and if you're not mentally prepared for that, you're going to fall into that dip, and that dip is where money management. That's where you lose your money. That's where you lose your money. Now you must send money home, right? You have a girlfriend this side, most probably a kid. In my case, my firstborn lived with a mother. So I had to send money home. There's an expectation. You're professional. How do you not send money home? So you take from that 7,000, you send a portion home. Your parents, you send a portion home, right? When you come, you left friends this side. Every now and then, a friend will text you, "Hey, Baxi, the water is switched off, the electricity is switched off. Please see how you can help me." Right? And now you don't want to be seen as this big shot that forget about your friends.
You just sent.
You help them, right? Because this weekend I'm going to play a match and I will have a winning bonus. If we beat Chiefs on Saturday, I'm getting an extra $1,000. That's now 1997. Getting extra $1,000. So what tell Marco, I'm going to give you 1,000, man. Switch on the water back home, right? But the very same friends and the very same family, right? When you no longer getting that money, they cannot help you, and we can't blame them. It's unfortunately the area that you're from. It's unfortunately the family that you are from. It's unfortunately the social hierarchy
that you came from.
Right? And what a lot of people call the black tax. It's unfortunate. So those very same people are not in a position to help you the day when you no longer play. So it's an unfortunate thing, and I don't blame the players. I will blame players that are earning big bucks, unlike us, that were just keeping ourselves alive. You pay the car, you pay the insurance, you pay your kids' school, you send money home to your parents, and then when you get home, and remember, you still need to look after yourself, and you still need to look like a professional in Cape Town. So there's a lot of pressure. So investment becomes the last thing
in your mind.
In fact, by the time everyone's sitting outside, it's like, wow, these guys, now they're bankrupt. Why didn't they invest? You helped finish my money. And so they have a big mouth.
The same people that were helping you are the ones who are questioning you.
He was supposed to invest. He was not smart. Look at him now. But you had a job. You had a day job, earning your 3,000, and you're sending me text messages every day. Every month I need to help you out. Now that I'm back here, you earning, now you're the big shot, and now you're saying that you were supposed to invest, and then no one is there to actually help you from those people that you assisted. And I'm generalizing this. I'm not saying. In my case, it's always been different. Because I come a little bit from a different social background, a different family background. But I'm talking here in general for that player that gets a contract right now and has no clue about what professional football is.
So basically, how do we avoid that now in terms of the upcoming players? We've got a lot of academy players that we see they are coming up, and they have the potential. I'll give you an example of Prince. Prince, a few years back, he was at the under-17s, and everybody was saying, this boy is going to be it. I'm sure you also say the same thing. Exactly. This guy is going to be it. Now, how do we now protect Prince, a player like Prince, for example? Not him per se, but talented players like him. How do we protect them from falling into these things?
I think you must have a workshop with the family. The families.
Who should have the workshop?
The clubs. So and this is what I'm going to do at Ongos as well. If there's a boy that we think potentially is going to make it as a professional or is getting into the national team, that boy needs to get, what do you call it?
Workshops,
or must be tutored, or for lack of a better word. You have to call him in and say, listen, boy, you're on the verge of becoming a professional player. This is what you should do with your money. This is how money works. Because these boys don't know, if you give him 1,000, 2,000 bucks locally, and boom, all of a sudden he gets a 30, 40,000. What is he going to do with the money? He was not educated. He did not have time to educate him about the salary because he was earning 2,000. So the whole structure, that whole family structure must be educated. You know, in Europe it's a little bit easy because Europeans are first world
countries, most of them, yes.
So they know about money. They grew up with money. There's not, it's most probably only the black players from Africa that's in France that grew up very tough. But 80% of the white kids, come on, they grew up comfortably. You know, he most probably has a degree when he plays football. With us, it's different. So they don't need that type of thing, but still they do it. So we have to do the same this side and say, let us educate the families, let us educate the player. And when it happens, when that player gets his big break, he's prepared, or better prepared than what we were.
Yeah, so that's sort of I think one way we can look at it in terms of saving players from falling into the same trap over and over again. And remember, it does not only happen in Namibia, it happens across Africa. We have seen players in South Africa, we have seen players in Zimbabwe, Zambia, and so on. You know, even Ivory Coast, we can give you examples. It's a lot of them. I think it's something that we need to look at it as a society as well and think, how can we take this disadvantage and turn it into an advantage. And then moving on now, you're in Cape Town, you're playing for Santos. First season, you sort of survive that kind of relegation. And the team is transitioning into a professional setup. When they are fully transitioned into a professional setup, do you now get a salary increment? What changes? What are the changes that happen in the club? which actually influenced the way you started viewing football?
So when I got to Santos, I was very stressed and frustrated. I had high expectations of where I thought the club would be. But when I got there, it was not the case. It was like I'm back at cervix. Because the club was busy, transitioning.
They didn't have a training ground.
We trained at this school one week. The other week we trained at the stadium, and then you're training 20 kilometers outside Cape Town to get a field. And it frustrated me because I was like thinking, where's your training grounds? Where's your technical sponsor? Where is blah blah blah? So it was basically just a cervix that
went to private school here.
Went to private school. Type of thing. So the first year was really frustrating, and I wanted to come back. I'll be very honest. I never told anyone this. I wanted to come back, and it was
after 1 year.
After 1 year, I wanted to come back because for me it was like I didn't sign up for this. I can go back to my old job, earn my peanuts, live with my parents, and start my life here. And now I'm in Cape Town. These people don't know what professionalism is about, etc., etc. But I was ahead of my time when talking about professionalism. The club was just growing slower than me, and that frustrated me. So here's the interesting thing that happened. So you talked about Manchester City. So here was an opportunity that Jakes Amani, and eventually became my manager at the national team, and said that, there's an opportunity in England. They're looking for a midfielder.
How did you meet Jakes? Let's start from there.
So Jakes, Jakes was a coach. Jakes coached African Stars.
Tigers.
I think he won the league with Tigers or cup with Tigers. He also coached young ones. So he was a coach. And then with all his connections and links outside the country, he sent a lot. I mean, he's the one that sent Colin Benjamin. He's the one that sent Elifashivute. So a lot of people, we have to thank someone like Jakes Amani.
I mean, he's also behind Peter right now.
Yes, he's the manager of Peter. So the gentleman is next level when it comes to the vision for footballers and where he wants footballers to be. Let me rewind. Jakes came and he said, now there's an opportunity. I jumped on it, and myself and Quentin Jacobs got into a plane. Together, Quentin is going to Manchester United.
Wow.
Yeah. Quentin was that good. I'm going to Manchester City in the same plane. Right? We got to Heathrow Airport. Manchester United picked up Quentin. Manchester
City picked you up.
City picked me up. And guys, if you just think, and this is not even yes, we didn't sign. Yes. I'm known to be a Santos player. I didn't sign, right? But I want you to understand that the level football was back then, individually, not collectively as a team or the coaching or whatever, just individually. That two players from the same generation in the same team can go for a trial to United and City at the same time.
From Namibia.
From Windhoek. Come on. Right? Whatever happened there, happened. I can't speak for Quentin.
No, we'll get him here. You'll come and tell us his story.
Come, and then you please tell him that I said the following, that Quentin was that good. Now, I need to explain this to you. When you get to trials, you need to, it is also why a lot of players fail at trials. It's because of this. Quentin was not prepared for trials. I was not prepared for trials. Now, trials is a psychological thing, right? Imagine you bring a boy from Korihas, and you say, come and train with the national team. That boy's in shock. It's the first time he sees Colin Benjamin. It's the first time he sees Shalulile. He must pass Shalulile the ball.
And he must pass a perfect pass.
And must pass in a well-weighted pass. And Shalulile say, come on, pass that ball. He's in shock. I had so many players when I was coaching that ran away from training. Not because they were not good enough, but because they were not prepared. Because here is Ricardo Manetti, that is first time experience with him. Here is Shalulile. There's John Hotto. Here Nyambe is coming from England. It is just a next level. The training structure, the composition of training is intimidating. There's 50 balls at training. In where it comes from, there's like one ball. Right? So it becomes intimidating. Let me fast forward. Back in England, I get to training and I'm at Manchester City. It looks like a small town, the whole training ground.
It's a town itself.
It's a small town. There's like, 10 fields next to each other, and each field has a little kiosk and a dressing room and the lights. It's like, it was so overwhelming. I was in shock. I could not.
Coming from jumping from different schools and training fields.
Yes, and already I was exposed with the national team. But that was just next level. So there I was, and training and blah, 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 and all that. Quentin on the other side with Manchester United. So here's the thing. When you're a trialist, you don't get to train with the first team. They first put you in with the reserve team or with the youth team to see how good you are. Right? And Quentin was this good that I think he only spent one session
with the smaller teams,
with
the smaller balls.
Yeah. And then he trained with Ryan Giggs, with Paul Scholes, with Roy Keane.
Legends of the game.
Quentin training with them. For me, it took a little bit longer. I was there, I think, 3-4 days before I started training with the first team. Now, when you get to training, there's Ferraris, there's Lamborghinis, there's Range Rovers.
And you're coming with a taxi.
And you coming with a taxi come and drop you. There's black taxis in England.
In England, yeah.
They come and drop you. You get to, they tell you, we're going to give you accommodation, you stay in a 5-star hotel. You can't sleep. Everything is there. So it's very intimidating, and you need to be prepared mentally for it. And that was.
But who prepares you now in this case? Is it the coach? Is it your agent?
It's supposed to be your agent, and it's supposed to be your club. That's why I am of the opinion that a collective preparation is always key. Like, prepare your family. I'm going to become a professional. Prepare your girlfriend. Prepare your friends. And the clubs must take responsibility for it. Because if that player makes it, the club gets its transfer fees. If I don't make it, the club is not getting money. So prepare me accordingly so that I can get the money
for you. So how was it? Who did you meet at Manchester? The players, the coaches?
So at Manchester City, I didn't stay too long, but it was all the top players there, and we played a friendly match against Sheffield United. And Steve Bruce, the old
former Manchester United,
former Manchester United centre back and captain, he was a coach of Sheffield United. And then he saw me playing for Manchester City against Sheffield United. And he immediately took me and said, but Manchester City said that they have enough midfielders, they're not looking for another midfielder, and Sheffield took me. So here's where my story began now with Santos. At that time, you were not allowed to play a friendly match if you don't have a permit with the association. And they call it there's closed door matches and open door matches. So in order for a player to get signed, he must play in an open door match. So that was a rule at that time. And we needed to get permission from Santos.
And you have a contract with Santos?
And I have a contract with Santos, and I had to get permission from Santos to play in that game. And here was Santos not playing ball. They wanted money before the game. They made the price, and I don't know what happened there. I was really angry at the whole thing. I'm not going to blame individuals for it, but it went south for me. I didn't get the permit to play. Sheffield United couldn't sign me. Yeah, I was angry with Santos. I changed my flight. I'm not going back to Cape Town. And hot-headed as I was at that time, stubborn, I'm thinking these people are ruining my career. Why should I go to Santos?
I had this opportunity in front of me.
This opportunity in front of me, and you were making excuses for this and that, and I don't know what happened, but be it as it may, I didn't sign.
Sheffield was in the first division, right?
Sheffield United was in the first division at that time, and they had aspirations to come to the Premier League. That's why they brought Steve Bruce at that time as well. And Steve Bruce told me, look, brah, not much I can do. Your club is not playing along. We can only keep you here for another week. If they don't send that thing in this week, unfortunately, I'll have to let you go. We can't keep you in that 5-star hotel. It's costly. And I changed my flight. I flew back to Windhoek and I said, no ways. I'm not playing for Santos ever in my life again.
So what did you come and do in Windhoek?
What they say, I was hustling. Without a salary, Santos stopped paying me.
No clearance?
No clearance. I was literally, and I said at that time, you know what? I'm prepared. I'm going to go look for a job and leave this football thing. I was that angry. And this is what happened. After 6 months, 8 months, now I'm just training at Cervix. I couldn't even play for Cervix because I wasn't
cleared. Yeah,
I get a call. I went for a jog in the morning just to keep fit. Came back, my mom said, hey, there's a white man that was looking for you. He left this number, call him back. It's a guy called Johnny Ferreira. He's still coaching up to today in the first division. That's where Avondale.
Okay.
Call him back. I said, who's Johnny? No, I don't know. The man just called. You have to call him back. I'm like, okay, call him. Hi. Is this Johnny? Yes, it's Coach Johnny Ferreira. I said, oh, hi, Coach. How are you? Yeah, you don't know me. I'm at Avondale. I need you to come. I said, no, I'm retiring. I'm not playing football anymore. He said, no. I spoke to Clive Barker. Clive Barker was a coach at Santos at the time.
Yeah.
And Clive Barker was a huge fan of mine. So Clive was softening up the relationship between me and Santos to say that, no, let's get the boy back. Let him play at Avondale for 6 months, get his match fitness.
And then we take him back.
And Santos was also playing hardball. No, we don't want him. Why didn't he come back? What? And Clive and Johnny Ferreira, those two coaches, I'll forever be grateful. They saved me from myself.
So you were becoming a danger to yourself now.
I was a danger to myself. And this stubborn nature of mine, wouldn't let me.
The ego.
That ego. I mean, this is Ricardo Manetti, one of the best footballers in Namibia, that you're treating like this. Just because I'm from Namibia, you think you're a big shot in Cape Town, I'll show you. And became a danger to myself. I gave in and I said, all right, let me give it a shot. And I went back. And I played for Avondale, I think for about 6 months. And Clive Barker was always watching me, monitoring me. And then, boom, Clive said, okay, can you come back? Now I said, all right, I can't come back on that old salary.
Now we are pushing.
7,000 is not doing it anymore. Yeah, I want more. Hey, then Santos said, no, we're not going to give you more. You owe us a season. And until you play that season.
On the same salary?
On the same salary. We're not playing ball. Boom, okay. Clive there again begging, Ricardo, please.
Just play.
Come on, just play. Just one season. Yeah, but Clive, just people say, no, ignore them. Boom, I gave in. I signed on that old thing. Said that, okay, register me. I'm back at Santos. That season, Clive was fired.
Before you could, did you play or you didn't play?
I didn't. It's pre-season now.
And they fired him in pre-season.
They fired Clive Barker. Clive is out.
Who came in?
I'm like, no, man. This is not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen because Clive trained me a bit, and I was like, no, I like this guy, man. I told you the last time he could sell sand to
Namibia.
Namibia. He was a really good motivator and interesting guy. And here comes Gordon Egerson. The guy that wanted to sign me in 97, and I turned him down. Remember many days?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, this coach is gonna hold this against me. He came. He said, no, let's leave bygones. Bygones be bygones. Let's
focus on the future.
And he came with the mentality of Santos must win the league. I look at this guy. I said,
do you know the Kayas around this place?
Do you know? You don't know Santos. These people are not professional here. We're still getting there. He said, no, we're going to win the league. I looked at your team, and at that time, they brought in Bradley from, I think Bradley was playing in Norway, striker Bradley August.
But yeah, the big guy, yeah.
Man. The guy was huge. His one leg was like this, could hold up a ball. And Mark Itier, the tall one.
From Mauritius?
Yeah. Sebastian Bax came from France in the midfield. It was me in midfield from Namibia. It was Vincent Sokela from Pirates.
On the wing?
No, in the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
On the wing, we had Tyron Arendse, young Tyron Arendse.
Yeah.
On the wing. Then we had at the back Idris Burton, our captain. We had Musa Ongao, Otieno
from Kenya, the big guy also.
Giant of a guy. We had John Mbitso.
The Zimbabwean,
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Oh, what a player.
Yeah.
Oh, he could play midfield, could play the
defense,
back. Yeah, smooth player. And then we signed Andre Arendse.
As a goalkeeper.
Come on. Can win the league anything. But we did not believe. And Gordon came with this belief and say, listen, you're not Pirates, you're not Sundowns, you're not Chiefs. You're Santos, you're going to win the league. And at that time, he just won the league with Pirates. And then he came. We won the league that season. 2001, 2002. I could not believe it.
And the salary goes up.
And then it was time for the salary. So I was like, okay, 2 years, I did not get anything. I've got bills. I've got bills waiting for me. And then I negotiated, and I think from there I jumped up to 20,000.
That's 2002, 2003. That was a lot.
It was a lot of money. And and I was like, okay, now this is well deserved. Come on, now we can talk. This is where I'm supposed to be. Yes, the next season, Gordon left, and then Santos also, we lost a couple of players. Andre left, I think Sokela also left. There was a few players that we were not as strong. And then that's where Santos, now 2002,
started going down.
2003, 2004. Then I left and I went to Bushbucks. With Professor Nkobane, also coach here.
Yeah. All right, now we'll take a short break just to quench our thirst, and we'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to the second half. Like a football match, we are back. We're still with Ricardo Manetti. I'm not going to say his achievements now. We've spoken a lot about Santos. We've spoken a lot about Civics, Cape Town, your trials at Manchester City. The Brave Warriors.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first game for the Brave Warriors?
How can I forget that game? It was against Zambia. We lost 4-0. And I was the worst player on the pitch.
Take us through it. What happened?
So that was, I think, 91 or 92. I think I was grade 11 or 12.
And playing for the national team?
For the national team, my first game.
Playing against Zambia?
Yeah. And,
who was in the Zambian team that you remember?
The Boalias, there was Johnson Boalia, there was Kalusha. I think Kalusha didn't play that game, but he played the second game. It was that team that
perished in the plane crash.
Plane crash, yes. Now
Elijah Tana.
It was a mess. Those guys, I was like on the pitch admiring what they could do with the ball. They were that good. I was like looking at this one, looking at that one. It was just absolutely a wow. So there, my first game, coach, decided now let this guy either drown or swim, and I drowned to the extent where the crowd wanted me off. I think it was the first time I have ever been booed off a field. It was the first time and the last time. And that was a very bad experience for me. I just, I was at school. I didn't go to school after that game for about 2-3 weeks. I was so ashamed of myself, my performance.
So what were you saying at home? What were you telling the Zalis at home?
I just told them I'm sick. And then I flew this week, and the next week I've got something else. They knew.
What had happened? Yeah.
And luckily my parents were like, okay, now let's give him time. He's going to get over this. I didn't even go to training. I was just at home for 2 weeks. And then after that, I got the strength to go. And yeah.
All right, you play that match. Now you have the sort of the idea of what national football requires.
Yeah.
Your first match as the captain of the Brave Warriors. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I actually don't. I actually don't.
Was it not a COSAFA Cup match against Zimbabwe in Harare?
Yes.
Another four.
5-2.
5-2 defeat.
Dr. Mrawa.
Dr. Mrewa, yes. Dr. Mrewa, yeah.
I saw that guy. He was 1.85, almost 1.9. Built like a stallion. I don't know where he played, where he came from. On that pitch, he could pick up. You know, you can put the ball up there. He would like control it and bring it down, effortless.
Turn and run and shoot.
He could run, left and right. He could shield that ball. He was intelligent. He could pass. He could finish. I was like, my goodness, we are far, far away. And then we lost 5-2.
Yeah.
We were hammered.
Denzel Provera was in the goal.
Was in the goal.
Was it his first match as well?
It was his first match.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were busy with the transition. The coaches were bringing in new players.
Yeah.
You know, just to
freshen up the team.
And also increase the depth of the national team. So they hammered us that day.
All right. So you come back. After you have played in South Africa, you come back. I think you played for Civics. Did you play here when you came back?
No.
You went to coach.
I went straight into coaching.
To BA. Was it Civics? Yeah.
2006.
6, yeah.
So when I came back, I always told people I'm not going to coach. So Civics were fighting relegation.
Yes.
Again.
I was about to say that. Yeah. You find them. They are also going through a transition.
Yes.
I think the owner Helmut had left.
He was still there.
He was still there, but he was leaving. Yeah.
Was leaving,
and they are fighting relegation. They've been winning titles left, right, and center.
3 titles in a row.
In a row, yeah. All of a sudden, reality checks in, and they are fighting relegation. You come in. You told people you're not coaching. What happens?
I went to train with the team. Wanted to keep fit. And I realized there was not real structure in terms of the coaching and direction. And I felt bad. And almost guilty to say that, how can you let your team
down like this?
Just help them, right? I have no coaching experience at the time.
You didn't even attend any coaching clinic?
No coaching badges, nothing, no license, zero. The only thing I had was Gordon Egerson in my head, Clive Barker in my head,
Johnny
Ferreira in my head, Duncan Crowley in my head. That was the immediate experience that I could tap in. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuse
all the things,
4 or 5 coaches, add mine of what I know about the players. And come on, I'm young. I was like, I think 32 or 33 when I retired. So some of the players there at Civics I played with.
Yeah.
So here I am, the coach screaming at them, yelling at them, etc. But what I brought in was to say that, guys, you are not done. You are not old. You can still do it. And we started training hard. We started believing in ourselves, etc., etc. And that season made me a coach. So from, I think, position 12 or something, when I came in, we pushed them up to position 2. Pirates won the league that year.
Yeah.
We came second. We lost the league on the last day. We drew with a team from, I think, Rehoboth Friends or something.
Friends, yeah.
We were supposed to beat them. And we lost the league. We won the NFA Cup that season as well. We beat Stars 1-0. Flores Dirghard with a beautiful free kick at Independence Stadium. And I was like, wow, I can do this. And then NFA called me in and say, you got potential. We want former players
to get involved in the camp.
Involved in coaching and in the national teams and so on. Are you interested to do your coaching badges in Germany? I said, say no more. And Woody and myself, boom, went to Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you get your coaching badges. The NFA has called you in.
Yeah.
You become an in-house coach at NFA.
Yeah.
For the junior teams.
Yes.
Take us through that journey as well.
So, Barry Rukoro was very smart, and Munyo as well. The two of them had their own little meeting and said, what are we going to do with Maneti? Here's this young man, just retired, showed that he can coach, work rate is high, he really want to be involved in national team football. So how are we going to do? Then they decided and said, no, let's make him an in-house coach. The position never existed because there's always a women's team training, and then the coach is full-time. Coach is at work. But now the team can't wait for Marco to come from work. Under 20 national team, who is there, the guy can't get leave, but the team must train. So then they said, we got perfect position for you, in-house coach. When the coaches are not there,
you are the coach.
So I started coaching every team at the NFA. The ladies under 20, the boys under 20, the national team, the gladiators, the brave one, the under 23s. I was training everyone, and I made sure that 3 weeks before the game, I would tell the leadership, hey, we need to train. These boys are unfit. So that I could learn and better myself. And that was a period where I was really
putting in the shifts.
I was putting in the shifts, left, right, and center. I mean, they would take me along as second assistant coach because I was training the team. I had no say in team selection. I was just a boykie, and I was okay being a boykie.
So you do the warm-up.
And I would want to tell people that think that Maneti got everything on a silver platter. It's not the case. I worked my way up. I was an in-house coach, almost like you get pushed around. Go coach that team for 1 hour. When you're done there warming up the team, go back to soccer house. The national team is starting. You need to train them. At night there's a friendly. The coach can't make it. Go there. I worked from a second assistant as an under 20 to a head coach under 20. Second assistant national team, and I worked my way up.
All right. So you put in all this shift, you're under 20 coach, and then you are a second assistant with the Brave Warriors. I think it was William Kapukire.
No, second assistant was
Brian
Kanyuka.
Okay.
Brian was the head coach. Kanyuka was the
assistant,
first assistant, and I was a second assistant.
Yeah. So you work your way up. Somehow Brian moves, and Kanyuka takes over. Dismal performance for Kanyuka and his team, including
angry you guys
against Malawi. Directionless football. I've never seen the team looking like that. And boom, you are there now. They bring in Roger Palmgren. And you are the assistant.
So I need to interrupt you there. When Kanyuka resigned, I remember it was in March.
Yes.
After
Brian came in.
No. The position was vacant. We did not have a game for April, and we did not have a game in May. So for 2 months, the position was like no one knew who was going to get it. So people threw my name in the hat. And I told Munyo and Barry, no, guys, I'm only, I think at that time I was 37 or 38. I'm still young in this thing. I'm just assistant coach. I can't do this. They say, nah, you're right. You're right. You can't do this. Let's get a coach. And that's how they got Roger Palmgren.
Yeah. So Roger comes. Interesting character.
Yeah.
He had no idea what Namibia is. He had no idea about Namibian football. How was your relationship with him?
I've learned so, and I wish Roger could watch this one day. Someone can send this link to him. Roger Palmgren was in Namibia, I think, for a month and a half. Right?
Yeah.
And we trained. And Roger formed a foundation that I worked from. He only needed a month and a half. And he showed me things about Namibian football that I thought the guy you knew you don't know. He said Namibians can only play this way. He was adamant of it because his analysis for that month and a half. He said this formation suits Namibian players. If you go here, you will produce more Namibian players. And this is how you should train a Namibian player. He's done this whole homework. I was like, wow, I learned so much from him in a month and a half. So I was his go-to guy. So when he came, I think he lived at Kalahari Sense at the time before he became Agani. I would pick him up, go out with him, show him around and etc. So we spent a lot of time just talking on a daily basis, tactics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go to Malawi. His first match was away, I think.
No, his first match was a friendly against Zambia.
In Zambia, at Semnyoma.
Yeah, and we drew 0-0.
And then you go to Malawi.
And you guys blasted the guy. Said, how can you draw it home? What? The guy was upset.
Yeah, he was upset.
Roger was upset. He said, because Zambia just, I think, won the AFCON.
Yes.
And we drew with them. He said, are you people crazy? How can you draw against the African champions
and still be blasted?
No,
we were just welcoming him. We just wanted him to feel welcome.
But anyway, yeah.
So you go to Malawi. I think you lost that match, or you drew.
We also drew that match
in Malawi. Yeah. And at the airport, Roger disappears.
So Roger, he gave me a few hints that he was not gonna be there, right? And I was like, but I did not have enough evidence. But the way he was talking and stuff, and when we went to the airport to go to Malawi, so we flew via Joburg, and then we'll go to Ethiopia, and then back to Malawi. In Joburg, I saw the man's bag, at the Osiakutako, I saw the man leaving his bag. That time we were with Puma.
Yeah.
The Puma bag, all the track suits, shirts, everything. And I told him, coach, your bag. And he said, oh yeah. But he said, oh yeah. I'm like, why are you leaving your bag? That bag is supposed to go to Malawi.
Yeah.
Then I was like, something's off here. Be it as it may, he said, no, he needs to go do some business in Durban. He's got some family business that he needs to take care of. He'll meet us in Malawi. Then I knew, something is up.
Yeah.
And I said, I told Ronnie, Ronnie, my brother,
be ready.
Be ready, you must coach this team. Ronnie said, me?
I'm a goalkeeper coach.
I'm a goalkeeper, I will not. No. You are the assistant. I said, Ronnie, I'm inexperienced, bruh. You've been to AFCON, you've been in the national team. You are the most senior guy. Take this. Ronnie said, bruh, leave that story. That guy must come and coach his team. And I'm like, I'm so nervous. The man did not come to training, and then 2 days before the game, he pitched up. Was I relieved?
So did that have an effect on the team drawing with Malawi? Had he been there, would there have been a change?
Look, that Malawian team that day, guys, they still had the guy that played at Cosmos.
Ntawale.
The striker.
The striker, yeah.
And another guy that went to, I think at the time he played in Europe somewhere. They had a strong team.
Yeah.
And I think what is the guy, played for Chiefs. It was in his...
Mabedi, yeah.
Mabedi was still there, involved, or whatever the case is. So they had a very solid team. Now, we were not going to beat that team. We were not going to.
You come back at Ora Tambo, he disappears.
So, he left us in Malawi. So, he took another plane from Malawi. And that was the last time. In the dressing room after the game, it was the last time I saw Roger Palmgren. Roger Palmgren, please man, DM me or WhatsApp me or something, wherever you are. And that was the last time I saw. Now listen to this, that was Saturday. Tuesday we're playing Nigeria. African champions. Stephen Cash's boys. Tuesday evening. Roger is nowhere to be found. I am nervous. And here comes a call from the president, John Muñoz. Hi Ricardo, how are you? I'm like, no, good. Where are you now? I'm just from training. Yeah, no, I've got good news and bad news for you. I said, am I being kicked out here? What's happening? I said, listen, there's 2 days left. Roger Palmgren is not coming back. His phone is off. Rumor has it that he's the assistant of Sven-Goran Eriksson, got a team in China. The man is not coming back. I'm like, okay. Right now, so we can do it. He said, yes. No, not we can do it. You can
do it.
I said, me. He said, yes, you. And this is not, I'm not asking you. Remember, I'm the president of the FA. This, I'm telling you. You're going to be the caretaker coach on Tuesday against the Nigerians. That's what I'm telling you. That's the good and the bad news. I said, okay, President. They said, thank you. Bye. All the best for Tuesday. That's how I got into the job. I was like, I can't fight this guy. If I fight this guy, we'll be without a job. How am I going to do it? Guys, it was tough.
All right, so Nigeria comes, you give Dion Otto his debut, and he repays you with a goal.
Me and Dion, we go way back. Special connection there with that first day.
How did you bring him in the team? Was he already training with the team?
So Dion, this was the story. I went to watch a game in Swakop. I think I can't remember. Blue Boys playing Tura Magic or SFC playing Tura Magic.
In the first division?
In the first division. And I happened to be in Swakop and I decided, let me go watch it, but then check. And I see Dion on that wing.
Flying.
Skinny black boy. I'm like, who the hell is this boy flying like this? And people say, no, leave our player. It's Dion, what? Wara. He's going nowhere. What? I'm like, you. Got on the phone, I called Kanyuka, who was the coach at the time. I said, Coach, there's a boy here on the left. Because remember, we had lovers, Eslam Kamohamba.
Yes.
With a deadly left foot of his. And he, at that time, left
for Germany.
So we needed someone there because we didn't know, will he play, the level that Eslan will play, but we needed someone that could match Eslan. And I told Kanyuka, this is the boy we found. He said, where's he playing? I said, I think it was Blue Boys. He said, hey, first division. Will you smoke the pipe? I said, Coach, trust me on this one. Let's just call the boy, let him come and train. Right? And it was in the period that week where Kanyuka resigned. So I think the boy came, he trained, and because Kanyuka couldn't play him, and Kanyuka resigned. And then I said, nah, I've seen enough. When I play Nigeria, I'm going to bring this boy on. I'm going to be brave. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? The African champions can give us 4. No one will be ashamed of it. It's come on, it's Nigeria. Let me give it a shot. And
you're literally 4 or 5 minutes away from victory.
Yeah, and then I think, was it Obi Mikel?
Yeah, with a free kick,
With a free kick. Yep, and he equalized 1-1. We were this close. But still, I think it was the first time we drew against Nigeria.
The first and only time.
First and only time. And then the stadium was just, everyone was like, yo, wow, nah, this is awesome, let's get Manetti in.
In fact, that day, the team that you put out dominated Nigeria. Obi Mikel, he was put into a sword by...
Neville Chiweda.
Yeah, Neville Chiweda.
Neville Chiweda.
Yeah,
Neville Chiweda. My goodness, what a player.
So, okay, now you take the job at the Brave Warriors. You are now full-time coach for the Brave Warriors. Before the COSAFA, I think, there came a period of time where you resigned. After you had a fallout with Barry.
It was after, no, not the fallout with Barry. It was actually after the COSAFA, after we won the COSAFA.
After you won the COSAFA?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go back to that. But yeah, the resignation.
So I was on a very, I was not happy with the salary that I earned at that time as a coach, and this thing has to be market related, and my salary was not market related. I think I even earned less than what Tom Seinfeld earned 7 years ago. So I wasn't happy, and I'm the coach here, and all I get is fire Manetti, and I'm trying to build a team that I inherited from Kanyuka. And remember, that team of Kanyuka, we made a decision that we will introduce the under 20 players. So here I'm stuck with 15 under 20 players in the team that I have to build. And I think I've done a brilliant job to get them to win COSAFA, and now it's for the FA to come in and say, listen, let's reward you. And that reward that they offered me I was not having it. And I think this is the first time I actually come out and say that this time around I wanted to be valued. It was about the money. It was about the money firstly, and it was about the project, because this project I was busy with for 2 years, and in the middle of the project we won COSAFA. So why can I not be rewarded? And I was not asking for something wow. All I asked was, give me what you gave Tom Seinfeld back in the day. That's all I'm asking. There's a bar. Can I get what he got?
Yeah.
And can I get what Zimbabwe and Malawi and
Maybe
Botswana them are getting? And the FA at that time, it was not Barry, and I'll make it very clear, it was not Barry.
It was the executive committee.
It was the executive committee. They and with the president, I don't know, decided, no, we can't give this guy, blah, 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 whatever the case is. And I said, and I actually didn't resign. It was just information that was shared wrongly. My contract ended the day we lifted the COSAFA Cup. And something happened on that day. The Thursday before the Sunday, an article came out in the Informante at the time that Manetti was going to get fired.
And it was leaked by somebody in the FA.
It was leaked by someone in the FA. And I got that article and I was like, okay, they already have replacements. I think they wanted to bring in Woody or Bobby Samaria at that time or whatever. So people were promised jobs, and I don't know, I speak under correction, but obviously if you want someone fired, you have someone already lined up.
Yeah.
So I was like thinking, oh, these people,
I've done so much.
I've done so much, this 2-year project, I'm in the final. And an article like this leaked. I said, okay, this is to disturb me. This is to disrupt the team, and I'm up against it. God was so good.
You won the cup?
We won the cup. And I played another game after winning the cup without a contract against Niger. And after Niger, I said, I can't continue without a contract. That's the period my father died. So I was not emotionally well, and I decided, you know what, NFA, keep your job. That stubborn guy came back again. Keep your job. In any case, you didn't offer me a contract. I'm not going to beg for a contract. If winning COSAFA...
So you found somewhere else to go, or...?
No. I'm not going to continue. I need to be valued. And if any other team or country would value me, I would go. But my preference was still Namibia because it was a project that I wanted to finish off.
All right, so that gets sorted out. You get your contract back. The next chapter, you qualify for AFCON.
Yeah. No, qualified for Chan.
For Chan, yes.
For the first time.
For the first time.
Don't forget that.
All right, he qualifies for Chan for the first time. He has won the cup. He has qualified for Chan for the first time. They go to Chan, they perform extremely well, go to the next round, and lose to the eventual winners. I'm thinking the host as well, Morocco.
Yeah.
Come back.
Finals,
come back home. You qualify for AFCON. Some in between, before qualifying AFCON, problems rock up in Namibian football. The FA is dissolved, a normalization comes in, a normalization committee comes in. You qualify for AFCON under difficult conditions. I think the last 3-4 matches were not ideal for you in terms of preparation and stuff. Yeah. How was that period for you?
It was a nightmare. And it was not only the AFCON period. Remember when we qualified for Chan, football stopped already that season.
Yes.
And we had to train the national team like a club. And we still qualified. Right? And from there, the fights between Barry and
BDS,
the SG and the president, that period became so disruptive to the whole thing. And it was really, really tough time. And then after that, we played the season and then football stopped. And then it was time to qualify for AFCON. Here comes the normalization committee, inexperienced normalization committee. You can't blame them. I think the FIFA structure is like that. That's why we have people in normalization committees that are not football people. So they came in not having a lot of experience and made things difficult because of the inexperience that they come with.
Well, don't you think you were the target of the normalization committee? Didn't you feel at one point in time, these guys are targeting me, they want to frustrate me until I leave?
Look, I just looked at the whole system, and not only the normalization committee. I think there was just a whole system that wanted Manetti out. And whether that system was in the executive or in the normalization committee, but that's a strong feeling that I got, that because my view was, and I don't have proof, but my view, my opinion was at that time, like, why is everything all of a sudden so difficult? If the team must train, there's an issue with a bus. If the team must eat, the check was not signed. If the team must do what, prepare, this is not ready, that is not ready. And I took it some type of way, and I wasn't happy. And I had my fallouts with the normalization committee regarding that. And we didn't see eye to eye in the operational part of things, in how a national team should operate and should be run.
Did that affect the team's performance at the AFCON?
Definitely. It did not even affect the team's performance at AFCON. It affected the team's performance before at the Zambia game. Because the normalization committee could not agree with the players on how much they should get paid. And there was a rift between the players and the normalization committee. And the team was actually on strike in Joburg. Now, some people, there are coaches that interfere. I'm not that coach. I'm not a paymaster. I'm not telling a player that you must get that much and get that much, and if they don't pay, you strike. I don't do that. I was here to make history. So why would I tell players to strike? So they had a fallout with the normalization committee, and the players and the normalization committee did not understand each other in terms of their payment. So the team was on strike. Major concern for me, because on Saturday against Zambia, the biggest game of my coaching career awaits me. And I know that there are people that don't want me to qualify and to succeed. And here comes a strike. I was a mess. I was not right. Psychologically, I was not there. Emotionally, I was so angry. I had all types of emotions. And I even had my speech ready.
Your resignation speech?
My resignation speech on camera. I practiced it before the game. Because I just felt that the whole system was not there.
All right, so that happens, you qualify. Yeah. Preparations for AFCON, another mess.
Another mess. And it did not go well. We went a lot of things, and I'm not here to blame individuals. I'm not here to blame any person. But
you must make people understand, because I'm sitting out here, I'm hearing that the team is stranded outside a hotel in Dubai. One of the coaching members has to pay for the team to be booked in.
Yeah. So
I'm asking myself, what is this?
We get to the preparation and things are not organized. The company that was in Dubai, that was going to take us to the transport, the accommodation, the field, the training field, and other things, was not paid. So the FA did not pay, and we were stranded. I think the social media, I think the pictures went viral. We were stranded at the hotel, and one of the technical team members had to pay for the night until that payment would go through. Why it was not paid, I don't know. But for me, it was highly unorganized, highly unprofessional. I was not impressed. The players were not impressed. And I had to shake things up again into a positive direction from this negative that we've been in. A very unprofessional negative, a very inexperienced narrative that, that was just in the air when it comes to Namibian football. And it irritated me. Fast forward, things settled down and we trained. Salaries were not coming on time. Not salaries, the appearance fees. Players got, they did not trust the system anymore. Yeah.
So last match against Ivory Coast at AFCON in Egypt, 4 o'clock in the morning, the players are still negotiating with the NC, while they're supposed to play at 3 in the afternoon.
In the afternoon. Yeah.
What was your role there? What did you do there?
So, like I said before, when it comes to negotiating with the players, what they should earn and what they shouldn't, I was never part of it. I'd never attended even a single meeting, sitting in, listening to what players wanted or should be getting, or whatever the case is. And That was very disturbing. And just the whole AFCON, when we were there, for us that were there with the players, that spirit was just not a good spirit. It was the team harmony was not there. It was frustrating. No one knew where we gonna get paid. That's why we were still owed money after AFCON. And
we are going to AFCON now.
Some of the technical team members got paid
3-4 years later.
4 years later after that.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to AFCON now again.
Yeah.
What would be your advice? What advice would you give to the FA, to the players,
Listen,
to Colin?
Yeah, I will not even mince my words. Normally I'm very diplomatic. Let me tell you now. And this goes to the NC, and this goes to the government, and this goes to everyone at NFA. There's elections coming up. There'll be a new president. Mr. President, pay the players a market-related appearance fee. And when I mean market-related, do your study, do your research, give the players. This is remember guys, before this, Nations Cup only came every 10 years. Right? These players, you get players that work hard for 4 years to get into the national team. They eventually get there. And all that we can tell these players is that there's no money. Why is there no money? We are sick and tired of that tune of there's no money. I came into the FA, my Zambia game, when Charles Koraiza was president of the FA, I think back in the day, 92. I speak under correction. Back then, I heard there was no money.
30-40 years there.
30 years later, there's still no money. So we are not buying this no money thing. It's the inability of people in leadership positions to go and unlock the money. Why can't we unlock the money? These players are supposed to be getting, they beat Cameroon, guys. You know how much Cameroon got? Cameroon lost the game. They got 200,000 more than what we got. They lost the game. So is this fair? Until when? Until when are we going to take footballers lightly and say, no, they can't earn this much. They can't earn so much. Wow. Look what FIFA did. The normalization committee came in. A year and a half or 2 years. Who paid the normalization committee?
It's FIFA.
No, it's not FIFA. Football paid the normalization committee.
Well, I thought it was FIFA.
No. FIFA is football. But I'm trying to make a point here. Football paid the normalization committee. FIFA is football. So if we get into a reasoning of why players should not get and others should get, let us balance this thing accordingly. Football is a big brand. Football is loved. There's passion involved.
Yeah, we saw Chula Chula these past few days.
Chula showed us. Now everyone is talking about Chula Chula. We can fill up stadiums. It shows you the love that people have for football. And this for me is very emotional. If we don't prepare properly, if we don't prepare this national team properly, and we blame money, trust me, I'm not going to be impressed. Then our leaders have failed us or will fail us. So here's an opportunity to the football leaders to say that the team must prepare firstly properly. What is preparation? We need a couple of millions for preparation. You know why we need millions? Because we need to play against other top countries that go to AFCON. The team needs to be in camp for almost a month to eat right, get their psyche right, play 3 or 4 proper friendlies against strong opposition so that the coach knows where his team is. That will cost a couple of millions. We must get that money. We can't say there's no money. You must get it. And then the team is going into the competition proper. Every time you just hear there's money issues, there's this issue. Until when? Let us leave that song. That song we know already, it's an old song. Let us change. Let the new president be a game changer. Let the new executive be a game changer and say, we are going to go out of our way and approach all the companies here to say that we need 15 or 20 million for this national team. And then these boys, in that group of death where they are right now, Tunisia is not an easy team. That team is very similar to the one we had in 2019. Tunisia replaced Morocco, Mali replaced Ivory Coast. How strong is Mali? Mali is even sometimes stronger than Ivory Coast. South Africa, we know. So it's a very strong group. Our boys need to be in the right frame of mind, emotionally, financially, and psychologically, to give us the best at this AFCON.
Yeah, you spoke about the president of the FA. I'm told you're running for the president of the FA.
No, I'm not running.
No, there are people considering putting your name in the dish.
I appreciate them putting my name there, and I appreciate the faith and trust that they have in me. But I'm not running. This is basically
SG?
No, I'm not an administrative guy as well. The only position that I would go for in future would be president
of NFA.
Of NFA.
So you're not running this time around?
No, I'm not running this time around.
Okay, but in future you're going to run?
I might run in future, and I'll also
like 4 years from now, 5 years from now?
I'll see how the weather conditions are in football. At the moment, it's not the right weather conditions for someone like me.
Okay, you have won the league with Stars the last year.
Yeah.
How was it? Going through that journey?
So, because of this new role as of director of football, it's a role that people don't understand. It's a role that people was not aware it exists. I signed only a 1-year contract with Stars because I wanted to feel it out. I wanted to see if the club absorb it properly, if football as a whole absorb it properly, and it was basically for me just to check out things and feel out things, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Gaza, the current chairman, and the former chairman Patrick, in how they ran their club, or where they want to see their club, and it was really for me an awesome experience.
Do you think if you were still there, their Champions League journey would have turned out differently? Would you have added value in terms of maybe the coaching structure,
yes,
the players that come in?
Definitely, because you cannot ignore the fact that I have a lot of experience, and especially at the international level, that I was going to add value. Obviously, they brought in a new coach. I don't know what role I would have played with the new coach coming. So there's a big question mark regarding that, whether I was still going to be, as involved. Because myself and Marco, the coach that won the league, we still have an excellent relationship, and we talk about all the nitty-gritties, all the technicalities about Stars, the players, the game. And I was not sure if with that new coach coming in, if I was going to still have the same effect. But obviously, if I was there and they had to tap into it, obviously I was going to add value.
All right, let's talk about family.
Yeah.
You got married and you did not invite me to your wedding. I'm still angry at that. How is the family life going? You have so much time now. You don't stress that much. You spend time with the kids, with the wife, and you get to go to movies. You get to attend the kids' school, activities. Yeah. How is it?
My wife actually wants to chase me out of the house.
She's tired of you?
Yeah, she's tired of me.
But she used to complain every time I would meet you and we start talking football. She would be like, football.
It's always the way. What? Now that I'm at home, she told me the other day, please, can you not fly somewhere? Go to Ethiopia or Morocco, just go. You being here is weird, because she would come from work and not find me at home. Now she comes, I'm there. She's like, oh my goodness, okay, fine, good to have you here, but this is awkward. So it's other than that, it's good to be back. Yeah, the stress was enormous. As you know, I feel for Colin Benjamin, and all the other national coaches across the continent. It's not an easy job, and your family constantly has to adjust and know what's happening. And this time around, my role in football now with Ongos is more relaxed, because I have people that report to me. It's more calmer. It's not as stressful, and like the national team job.
All right, Ongos, the project.
Yeah.
Which direction is it taking?
FC Ongos want to be the flagship team in Namibian football.
Chula Chula style.
I don't know if Chula Chula is flagship yet.
In terms of the fans.
In terms of the fans,
yeah.
Yes. So we have a different approach. In terms of the fans, no one can hate Chula Chula. Well done. It's another question, can they tap into those potential fans? Can they keep their momentum going? And I really hope they do.
Would you swap roles instead of being at Ongos, go to Chula Chula and set up the structure and tap into that market and
I'm a firm believer of putting a foundation down first.
I mean, you do the same. Let's leave the sentimental part about Ongos, but what you see at Chula Chula, does it excite you that if I was there, I would have done this, I would have done this, I would have done this, I would put the structures like this?
You know what excites me? Is starting from ground zero. That excites me.
Chula Chula is ground zero. I mean, it's their first season in the league.
Chula, if I'm talking of fan base, right?
Yeah.
If we just stick to fan base. Fan base, there's already a base. With Ongos, there's no base. Or the base is smaller. So I would want to work from that smaller base and get a consistent support for Ongos that's long lasting, right? That excites me. Right? I can't deny the fact that looking at the Chula Chula project it could be an exciting project, but for me, I think where I am and the structures are a little bit different. Ongos Valley, the company, the place, that excites me more. With Chula Chula, that's a team. This is growing into a sports club and not only a football club. So Ongos will soon have hockey, tennis, basketball, etc., etc. And that for me is it just looks so enticing. It just looks so exciting for me.
All right, it's time to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
We are going to play a game. I'm going to give you 3 names. Who are you going to kill? Who are you going to save from drowning?
Save from drowning.
Save from drowning. You're stranded at sea in a boat. There are 3 people that you are with. You are the 4th person, but only 2 can go out. You and the other person. Yes.
You mean go out?
I mean can survive. Yes.
Survive.
Yes. Can come out. The other 2, one you must kill, one you must drown.
Goodness.
All right. We'll start with the NFA presidents, including the NC. John Muinho, Hilda Passon, Petros Damasep. Which one would you come out with in those 3?
John Muinho.
What happens to Petros Damasep? Do you drown him or do you kill him?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. So I will remain a killer if I drown him.
No. Don't worry about what you remain.
Yeah. Sure. Drown.
TikTok. Yeah.
Drown and kill. Sure. This will make me a bad person.
No, it doesn't make you a bad person.
It's slow death and fast death.
Slow death and fast death. Fast death, maybe Petros Damasek. Because
slow death, Hilda Passon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Namujebo, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We don't need any explanation for that. Okay. In terms of the goalkeepers, the national team goalkeepers, Virgil Freeze, Ronnie Canalelo.
How did I know you
No,
say that?
I wanted to leave Ronnie out. In fact, I'll leave Ronnie out. Okay. I'll have Virgil.
Yeah.
I'll have Lloyd Gadapwa. And I'll have Maximilian Baeva.
Wow. This one I can't answer, guys.
No, you can.
No,
You answered it at AFCON.
did I?
Yes. Virgil,
Yeah, because the
Lloyd,
circumstances of AFCON was different.
Virgil, Lloyd, and Max.
Wow. Yes, the guys, to pass this one, man.
No, we're not leaving it. You have 30 seconds gone. 30 seconds left.
So one must survive.
One must survive, yes.
Yeah.
Who survives there?
No, but before I answer this.
No. We don't want any explanation. Who survives?
Sure.
Don't tell us why, who survives, who drowns, and who gets killed. First, don't give us the reasons. Just tell us this one will survive, this one will drown, this one will be killed. Whether by stabbing or by strangling or anything. Don't worry, they're not going to watch.
They'll watch. No, I'm not going to answer this one. No, kill me. You can kill me. This one you can kill me.
Next time, Chief, we must bring alcohol here. He doesn't drink. For such things, then he must...
bring a shot or something.
You give him a shot.
No, I can't do that one. The president one was for me easier.
Easy, okay. No, you don't need to explain it. Yeah. Like I said, you don't need to explain
it. But goalkeeper one, I can't.
Okay. This is the last game that we're going to... it's not a game per se, but who do you think is the player that did not fulfill their potential? Namibian player that you wish...
Chiweda.
Why?
When the first time I saw Neville Chiweda, I say this is...
You saw yourself?
It's a complete... Better than me. Potentially. Better than me. The intelligence. Playing with his head up like Congo and Joe. Could do what Quentin Jacobs did, sorry. He can score goals out of nothing. Neville Chiweda potentially. I was like, this is the next diamond of Namibian football. He should play professional football in Europe.
What do you think went wrong?
Hey, that boy of mine. He's a very stubborn boy, just like me.
Why didn't you help him? Based on your experience?
It's two stubborn people. I was stubborn in my ways. Neville Chiweda is a very stubborn boy. And we have the huge respect for each other. I'm his father for life. He'll be my boy for life. That's my boy. But Neville, where it went wrong, I think, was because of his enormous football intelligence. The intelligence got the better of him. He became very smart in all moments. Neville is very smart. So Neville would ask, if we say let's train twice, Neville, why must we train twice? Why are we playing that formation? Why? And I love it because I was also like that. Very why? Right? And there's nothing wrong with the ones that say why.
So would you say the coaches failed him?
The why got to Neville. I wanted Neville to just submit and say, I need to train hard. I need to do this, I need to do that in order to get there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for hanging with us. Thank you very much, Ricardo. I wish we had more time, but I know we have overstepped. We had planned it for 30 minutes, by the way.
Oh my goodness, 30 minutes is never enough for me.
I know when you start talking about football, it goes there. But thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again, that is very soon, with another football personality or another sporting personality as we get to know them, like we got to know Ricardo today. He's a spiritual guy, by the way. There's a lot that we didn't tap into. Hopefully he'll come for second round. He's a very spiritual guy. He prays a lot, and he likes food. I know what he likes, his type of food that he likes. We didn't speak about that. And his other, part-time Zularing job. He's an influencer of note, and he's. I see you are dragging the kids into the influencing department as well.
I'm a DJ.
And he's a DJ.
Yes.
He's a music lover. He's a music promoter, and he has done everything in this world that needs to be done. Thank you. We'll see you next time.